Hello, and welcome to another video from 3.5 Archive. Today, we're going to be doing another D&D 3.5 Prestige Class review, and we're going to be looking at the Wayfarer's Guide Prestige Class from the Complete Arcane Sourcebook. Wayfarer Guides are members of the Wayfarers Union, a group of spellcasters for hire who provide teleportation services for those willing to pay, and as such, Wayfarer Guides are very focused on teleportation, and the entire Prestige class pretty much is centered around the teleport spell. Notably not Greater Teleport, or Teleport Without Error if you're looking at 3rd edition. So that will have some effect on this Prestige class as we look through it. Let's take a look here. The Wayfarers Union has some variants that are suggested, but generally speaking, while they don't have authority over all teleportation out there, they do try to be essentially a guild of teleportation. And the first requirement for your character to become a Wayfarer Guide is going to be to join the Wayfarers Union, although it is noted that you can quit later and not lose any of your levels in the Prestige class. So it sounds like joining the Wayfarers Union is essentially how you gain access to these secret techniques of teleportation. Let's take a look at what else you need to get into this Prestige class. You're going to need 10 ranks in Knowledge Arcana and 10 ranks in Knowledge Geography, and the ability to cast Teleport. And that's it. So you don't even need to max out your ranks because you're going to need to be level 9 in order to get Teleport anyway. So unless you're bypassing that somehow with some sort of clever trick, you're going to be coming into this Prestige class after your 9th level of Wizard or 10th level of Sorcerer, once you've finally picked up Teleport and you're ready to teleport your party around. The requirements for this Prestige class are lightly restrictive for a Wizard and somewhat restrictive for a Sorcerer. A Sorcerer tends not to have as high of an intelligence score, and generally speaking, you obviously need good concentration, you need good spellcraft. For an average intelligent sorcerer, that's going to take up your 2 skill slots, essentially. And needing 2 more for Knowledge Arcana and Knowledge Geography means that you're going to have either give up spellcraft, which is probably a bad idea, or you're going to have to play a human and have an above average intelligence, or have a pretty good intelligence. And with Standard Array, that's going to require you to basically be putting your secondary score into intelligence, which is not a common thing unless you're also going for the Ultimate Magus Prestige class or something like that, which is a little bit unusual of a path to take, but it's possible that you would be doing that. Most likely, though, this Prestige class is geared towards Wizards and similar arcane casters. You're probably not going to want to do this as a Sorcerer, and we'll see why in a moment, too, because a Sorcerer actually really doesn't need this Prestige class as much as a Wizard does. So what do you get from being a Wayfarer Guide? Well, you get a d6 hit die, you're going to get half your level base attack bonus, a goodwill save, and 2+ intelligence modifier skill points per level. Other than the hit die, you're going to be having pretty much identical stats to that of a Wizard. The D6 hit die is an upgrade, but it sort of represents the toughness and general adventurous attitude that Wayfarer Guides tend to have. I mean, they are teleporting in and out of danger oftentimes to rescue people. And definitely do want to appreciate the art for this Prestige class. It's very grotesque and grim looking. The art style, there's multiple artists that worked on Complete Arcane, obviously. Unfortunately, it's hard to find actual individual page-by-page credits, so not quite sure who did the art for this one, but it is excellent. And again, the sort of grotesque nature and the particular style of the art in Complete Arcane is something you don't really see after that in D&D books for 3.5, or really any time after that. While there certainly is a lot of great art in 3.5, some people have other opinions on it. The art for Complete Arcane is definitely very, very haunting in some places. It does have a particular style to it that's worth appreciating. But aside from that, back to what you get from being a Wayfarer Guide. You are essentially a Wizard with a few more hit points, and you do get some features, of course. This is only 3-level Prestige class, so it's pretty easy to understand here. You're going to get an advancement to your spellcasting at 1st level and 3rd level. You're not going to get it at 2nd level, and that's a big deal because, again, for such a short Prestige class, you would hope that you would at least be able to get full spellcasting. Let's take a look at the features here so we can understand this. At first level, you're going to get two features, enhanced capacity and improved range. And this sounds like a pretty good thing to have. Enhanced capacity allows you to transport material more efficiently. That's one way to look at it. When you are casting a teleportation type spell, you can bring along an additional medium touched willing creature per class level. So normally your teleport is limited to one other person per 3 levels, which works out pretty great because a standard D&D party is expected to be 4 people. And as a 9th level wizard, that divisor that's going to come out to 3. And so you can teleport yourself and your 3 other party members, and there you go, no problem. However, there are plenty of D&D groups out there, and you can, of course, have your opinions on whether or not that enhances the play experience or not. My personal ideal group size is, 3 or 4 players each playing one character personally. But we all know that's not how it goes, and you don't want to leave out all your friends that want to come along and play. So oftentimes there are groups of 5, 6, 7, even 8 players. I have personally seen that. And while maybe not recommended, it does present a conundrum for the character playing the wizard, because if you want to teleport everybody to the next city, help speed things along, you're going to have to use up more spell slots to do so. So this will help you get around that limitation. If you fill out the 3 levels of this prestige class, you'll at least be able to take 7 people along. But again, this is not a particularly amazing feature, because the thing is, you're getting something that you're going to get later on anyway. Let's envision yourself as a 20th level character. Let's say you're a 17th level wizard and 3rd level Wayfarer guide. Your caster level is going to be effectively 19, which would give you the ability to teleport 6 characters plus 3 more from this prestige class, plus yourself. So you can bring 10 people along. So maybe you can bring some followers and cohorts and other friendly NPCs, or whatever you want to do. But without this prestige class, well, you wouldn't be going up in terms of the number of creatures you could teleport. It is funny, this prestige class actually does slow you down in how many creatures you can teleport to by a level, by not giving you that level of spellcasting advancement and caster level advancement. It would be about the same, but you would be able to only bring 7 people along plus yourself. 6 people along plus yourself. And is that really worth taking this prestige class for? Well, that's up to you, I suppose. If you have that large of a party, you might want to consider some kind of alternate means of transportation at that point. Anyway, while this does help you with a larger party at specifically level 10 when you get into this prestige class, as we'll see, that's obviously not very good feature just to start out with. You also get improved range. This improves the range of your teleportation type spells by 50%. And the example given is a 9th level wizard and a 1st level Wayfarer guide can teleport 1,500 miles instead of 1,000 miles. Now, a lot of people just treat teleport as you can go anywhere spell, but it does have a range. Sometimes people do forget that. Even experienced players kind of forget about that sometimes. We all know it, but sometimes we forget. And this feature really, it would depend on the scope of your campaign world. I would say the number of times that this has mattered is probably pretty low. You need to go an extra 500 miles. Okay, this is saving you spell slots and potentially saving you days of travel. But unless you need to get somewhere so fast that you just can't bear to give up an extra day to prepare more spell slots, or you can if you just dedicate 1 full day to traveling, you can prepare more teleport spells with your higher level spell slots, which you're going to start getting at this point. So improved range may be a nice idea, but an extra 50%, I would hope that it would at least double. You're going to get teleport without error pretty soon, or greater teleport that has no range whatsoever. No range limit whatsoever, rather. So that's what you get at level 1. At level 2, you get extra teleportation. So keep in mind, this is the level where you do not get spellcasting advancement. You get an extra 5th level spell slot, though, which can be used only for a teleport spell. So you are giving up getting into 6th level spells here, getting your Disintegrate, your Flesh to Stone, all sorts of other fun little spells, so that you get an extra level 5 spell slot, which is limited to only teleport. This would be a nice feature if and only if you got spellcasting at this level, but you don't. So this level is essentially just slowing you down. And the only excuse for that would be as a setup for the third level. That is an acceptable thing in a prestige class to, have a kind of empty level or dead level, have some kind of downside to sort of set up for a very powerful ability. Okay. At level 3, you get enhanced accuracy. This allows you to roll twice and take the best result when you're doing the random chance for determining your actual destination with a teleport spell. That's pretty nice because it is always unpleasant to end up off target. Sometimes you'll end up, in the ocean somewhere. And if you have good enough ranks in concentration, it's really not the end of the world unless like the fighter in heavy plate just sinks like a stone instantly. It really depends on how nasty your dungeon master is. And while it's nice to drop, a 2% chance to like a 4 in 10,000 or whatever chance, this feature honestly just isn't going to be that great in most campaigns. If teleport had something akin to, you would die in a mishap or something like that, then this feature would be a lot better. But keep in mind that at this point you are only a level or so away from getting greater teleport, and that gets rid of all of the issues here that this prestige class is solving. So essentially you are being impatient by taking this prestige class. I mean, you want to be able to bring more people along, which is understandable, and you want to be able to teleport farther and without error, and those are all things that greater teleport can give you, but this prestige class is slowing you down from actually getting to that spell. So because of that, the Wayfarer guide, unfortunately, despite the fact that it is a nice idea, a teleport-focused prestige class is cool, unfortunately, it just falls flat completely. I would have to give the Wayfarer guide 3, maybe 4 stars for concept, 4 if you throw in the art, 4 stars for concept, but 1 star for execution. There's just almost no way that you're going to want to actually play this prestige class. If you were to give it full spellcasting advancement at each level, then at the very least you are getting ahead a little bit, but keep in mind that when you're a wizard going into these prestige classes, you have to think about the bonus feat that you're giving up. And this is going to cause you to miss out on a bonus feat. I mean, you are on the cusp of getting a bonus feat as you're about to take the first level of this prestige class. And the question is, would you take a feat for more teleport capacity? Well, maybe if you do have a very large party, and again, this is one of those things where you might consider doing that. That is completely fair. The improved range, do you really need that? You really have to take a hard look at the map of the campaign world that the Dungeon Master has possibly given you, maybe not. But to be honest, most maps that I've seen, or the scope of most campaigns, while it can extend that far, oftentimes it either does not, or it's such a large distance that the expectation set upon you is that you're not really expected to cross these distances in a single day, even with teleport. So the extra range is nice, but it's going to come down to the kind of campaign world map that your Dungeon Master has drawn for you, and that's really not a good basis for a situational feature like this. Enhanced accuracy is probably the only other really good feature in here. I mean, extra teleportation would be good if you got advancement at second level, but obviously you don't. Enhanced accuracy is a nice idea, but again, once you get greater teleport, admittedly, you may not want to be using those highest level spell slots for teleport, but even so, I mean, you are going to have a surplus of spell levels after a point, and that's a nice feature, but really not very good overall. So that's about it for the Wayfarer guide. The example character given here is actually a conjurer, so they specialize to get even more spell slots for teleportation, which makes the prestige class even more useless, ironically, because it just gives you more spell slots to use for teleporting, and odds are you're only going to have to teleport once if you are making use of the features in this prestige class. So I guess that's more for casting Summon Monster or something. But even so, the way that most campaigns, in my experience at least, have run, the Wayfarer guide is not going to come in very handy, despite it being a cool concept. So that'll be about it for this D&D 3.5 prestige class review. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and so on. We're almost to 100 prestige class reviews, so it would be really excellent to reach that milestone finally. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you next time here on 3.5 Archive.